Hey, it's your boy Sean, and this is Supercars from the Hood. And on today's episode, I have another tier list, and this time I'm going to use the tier maker. And this is about the third time I've tried making this video, and every time it gets longer and longer. So I'm going to make sure this isn't the longest video I ever made. So we're going to start with, and of course, this is going to be affordable sports cars and supercars, and you can see some of the pricing, and some of this stuff is doing whatever the hell it wants to do. It's gonna be 20 to 90k, as you can see as I have it here, and I'm gonna get straight in it and start with the first car we have here, which is the Dodge Hellcat. And this is going to be in the 40k range, that middle average pricing. I'm sure you can get a Hellcat for cheaper, but the mileage is going to be something ridiculous. Love a Hellcat. Let's move on to what's next. We have probably the best sounding V10 on the market, and the first supercar on today's list, the Gallardo. We're talking 80k. You can get one in probably 70s. Probably gonna have some type of damage on it. Amazing car, not the fastest, not the most exotic, not the most luxurious, but still amazing. And next we're gonna have what's probably the best sounding V8 on the market. We had the best sounding V10. Right after we had the best sounding V8, the Shelby GT350. One of my favorite cars, hands down. If I could get my hands on one, I would have one, but out of my price range. Plus, I can't drive sticks. Next, we had the GTR. One of the most famous all-wheel drive former supercar killers. Doesn't really have that same punch that it had when it came out. Wow, a long time ago. I think 08, something like that. But still amazing. Not as beloved as it used to be because of YouTube. And next we have the Viper. I believe this is the 4th generation version. You can get one for around 40, 50k. One of the best cars, hands down. Sports cars, hands down. And don't believe that danger hype that surrounds this car. It's not as dangerous as people say. Next, we have the first of the affordables, Maserati Gran Turismo. Took a long time for us to replace this car. Just replacing it. Probably not the best. Probably not the most exotic. Probably sells mostly due to that Maserati name. Probably the worst car actually on this list, I have to say. But there's really nothing you could do about it. Not much I can say about a Gran Turismo. Next we have what some people call the affordable supercar, the Alfa Romeo 4C. Wouldn't daily drive it. There's no place to put anything in. There's no trunk. There's no trunk. Just the passenger side. So if you want to take a road trip in this thing, you can't bring nobody with you, and you probably can't even go that far. No cup holders as far as I know, but it is a nice looking car, probably a future collectible. And next we have the M2, and this is one of my favorite cars. And some people cry about how small it is. It actually isn't that small. It's the same size as my 4-door BMW 3 Series. My car is older, about 20 years, so yeah, this would be right around my wheelhouse, especially for where I live. That and the 4C, small cars. I would feel safer with the driver's car and the BMW. It just it's a BMW. And next we have the V12 Vanquish. This is gonna be up there in the top bracket with the Gallardo. And You know, the value of these cars, they used to be like 300,000, and they've hit a wall. We're talking about $200,000 lost on this thing in 6-7 years. Still one of the best looking cars, hands down. So for those that can afford it, this is right, right spot for somebody who wants to get into a front engine beautiful car. Next we have one of my favorite sports cars, the Grand Sport. We're talking about 45K. I've seen average online for these things. I think it's the best mid-tier, mid-trim car, better than the Stingray, and not far behind the Z06, really. And some of the customizability for the car, some of the stuff you can pick out when selecting your car, building your car, is unparalleled, better than any other Corvette by far. Next we have the Ferrari 360. People love this car. I'm more of a F430. I think it's a more newer technology and all that stuff, but people love the design of this car. Still got to do engine service, but the engines don't got to come out, and it's a Ferrari, so it might burn down, but still one of the most beautiful cars, hands down, out there. And I think, for those people that have like Ferrari or want an old school supercar like the Gallardo, this is the one to get. And we got Stingrays. I think it's Stingrays is like 30 to 40. You can find them 32. Like the Grand Sport, there's not much I can say. Love the C7 Corvette. Would love to be able to drive one. Been thirsty for one since 2014, and one day I hope I can get in one, drive one, and experience. And I think I got this in the wrong place. We thinking like, no, I got that right. I think this is the perfect starter sports car for anybody. Better than anything you can find out there. And the next we have the ZL1. This is first generation. One of the best, sports cars you can get. You seen Guitarmageddon put 1,000 horsepower and make that thing into unbelievable drag monster. I haven't seen any videos in a long time, but if I had the time, I'd be watching them every day. Love some of the stuff that he does. I don't even know if he still makes videos, how long it's been. I have to check it out. But yeah, we've seen him put a lot of power into that car, and the car never missed a beat. So pretty excellent car. And then we have that first generation RS5. I don't even know if it's a new RS5. I looked and I couldn't really find one, but this was hand down one of my favorite cars. I know the Audi reliability isn't that great, and if you go to get one of these, they're going to be high in mileage, and I don't think it's as noted as the RS7, which is a sedan, super sedan, one of the most powerful sedans out there, one of the fastest sedans out there. And I think RS5 is an excellent car. Reliability, talking to Car Wizard, he says don't buy it, and he's a mechanic. He knows better than I do, so I would say go with what he says. And next we have that 997 911, the model that came out right after the Runny Eggs Porsche. Love a Porsche, and you can find them for 23, 25 to 30, probably as high as I don't know how many thousand, 60,000, especially if you're talking about turbo S's, GT3s, whatever. But you can get in that Carrera base model, whatever, for 120K. But you gotta know that some bitch is gonna have so many miles on it. Amazing car, love it. Then we have the Aston Martin, I think this is the DB7. Probably one of the most affordable cars on today's list. I think this is like 20, 27, whatever. I'm putting them in order of price. 27, 28, DB7. One of the best looking cars from, the early 2000s. One of my favorite. Late 90s, early 2000s, I believe it was. Reliability for a goddamn Aston Martin, not that great. You shouldn't really have to worry about it losing value. It lost all its value so many years ago. That's why it's on this list at 20 something. So you can drive it and not have to worry about having to be able to afford it because it's already lost its value. And then we got the R8 right up here. I think you can get in the R8 a little bit, maybe around the same price as the Ferrari. V10 is going to be more expensive, of course, but the V8, great sports car, not the supercar the V10 Plus is. But for that money, it's exotic. It's, what it did for the auto industry can't be understated. And of course, it's not as good as his bigger brother, the Gallardo, but you really wouldn't expect it to be. And the Ferrari F355, F355, whatever they want to call it. One of the most beautiful cars ever. One of the most beautiful Ferraris ever. The best looking modern Ferrari of all time. Will burn down to the ground. And you can get the one around, I think, 55. I want to say 55, 60. I don't think it's the worst car on the list, but definitely is not the best. Especially for that engine out and the cost. And then we got the Jaguar FType. I'm thinking right here, below average pricing. Especially for the drop tops. You'll see a lot of them online. I guess there was a lot of them spec'd out with the convertible. A lot of V6s are going to be in the 20 range, 20 to 30, range, the cheap range. But the V8 is going to be up there in the 30 to 40, high mileage. It's a sports car, pretty fast for what it is. S is going to be a little more expensive, maybe even a lot more expensive, depending. Car came out with like 100,000. Almost 200,000, so doing pretty well with the pricing on that. Then we got the CLK, AMG Mercedes. Love this little car. Never driven one, but always think about buying one when I see them on for sale. But the car is a little longer tooth, tech a little longer tooth, engineers a little longer tooth, and they're finally replacing this car next year. I don't know if that's still gonna be next year with everything that's going on in the world, but still next year. And then we got the AMG GT. This is by far one of my favorite sports cars ever. I have always loved this car, always loved the GTS, always dreamed of buying one, and if I could get my hands on it, I would have it right now. But yeah, maybe one day, but today is not that day. And then we have the V12 Vantage. This car, one of the best looking cars, as always, with an Aston Martin. Just crazy, amazing looking car. And I know the design is dated. The car has been replaced, but they haven't done the V12 version yet. Of course, two V6 duct taped together. And for 70 or 60 to 70K, I think that's the perfect front engine car to get in. And probably not the muscle car the AMG is, but pretty damn close. And I would never tell nobody not to buy one. And then we have the AMG C63 AMG Mercedes. Auto vlog on one of these, two of these actually. One of them, you know, was totaled out because of the water damage to the engine. We all know the story, but he owned this car for 2 years. Great car. Never really had any issues outside that first one. That was more like a fluke than anything. Love a C-Class, always have. More into the sedan than anything, but if I had the money, the AMG right there would really get it. Not a supercar, not even close, but for the sports cars, it's pretty good. And you'll be looking 50,000-60,000 just to get into one of them. And of course, we have another Aston Martin, and this is the, I believe this the regular Vantage. Same price as the C class. Same stuff I said about Aston Martin. I don't know why I have so many Aston Martins. I think because exotic sports car, people are looking for that type of thing, and people love Aston Martins. And some people think Aston Martin's out of their price range, and it's really not. And I think this one might be in the 50, 60. It could be in the 40 to 50, but I'm thinking more 50, 60. So, yeah, pretty amazing car. And then we have the M3, and this is the last generation, or I won't say last generation because there's a new generation coming out that's already out, I believe. So we're talking about 2 generations ago, like 2015 to 2018, something like that. Might not even be that. Might be like 08 to 2016, something crazy like that. I don't know off the top of my head. I think it's the F12 version of BMW, and this is when they start getting bigger. Of course, it's going to be least not it costs as much as an M2. M2 is a newer car. This is an older version. Crazy driver's car. Not stupid fast, but capability, drivability, back roads and all that stuff. People love them. Take them out there all the time. Great, amazing driver's car. And then we have the Z06 Corvette, and this is probably the cheapest one in the 60 up there in price. I'm talking about getting up there. The cheapest one. I won't say it's the most capable for that price. It probably is, because I've seen Street Speed put 1,000 horsepower on these things consistently and rarely have any problem with the car after doing so. So yeah, it's pretty capable. I don't know if you could do that type of thing to these other cars and still have them working. And you know, these other cars started $200,000, $120,000 when they were brand new. This car was like, you know, 90, maybe 100. Maybe if you spec'd it high enough, it'd be $100,000, but you know, 90 at the most. So you really don't think about losing value to the car or destroying the car for resale. And there's so many of them out there that you never worry about what'll happen if you destroy it. If you can never get another one, you know you can get another Corvette, hands down, no problem. So yeah, that list, you know, not as tough as it was the first few times. Actually took a lot longer. Had to speed this up. So there it is. Tell me what you think. I thought the average price cars would be more here, and some of these prices I might have a little off, but yeah, a lot of high price cars in here. And I think the best for me, I think in the high range, I would say I would get definitely the AMG, a little more affordable than the Gallardo. You know, I probably can find parts easier for that, so I would get it. Also, for the above average, I'm going with the Mercedes again. I ain't gonna lie, I love the C-Class. It's just the GTR in that price range. Gonna be a little rundown. Parts for that Aston Martin, it's gonna be pretty far up there. The Ferrari, come on, it's gonna burn down. In the average price, I'm going with the Mustang. Love a Mustang. It's the Mustang or, you know, the M2, and I'm thinking Mustang. Even though I can't drive a stick, I learned just to drive that car. In the below average, I'm getting that Stingray. I ain't gonna hold you. Love a Stingray, always have. If, you know, out of all those cars, Stingray definitely be it. And in the cheap, of course, the 911. I don't care how many miles is on it. I would buy one in a heartbeat. Can have 300,000 miles on it. I would get it. I ain't even gonna lie. So yeah, tell me, what out of all these brackets, what cars would you get? And you don't even have to tell me why. It doesn't really matter. And if you enjoy this video, like or appreciate it. Sub if you want to. And I might do more lists like this. I might put more pictures in here and take these pictures out. We'll have to wait and see. And yeah, it took me a long time to get this together. I don't know why, but it did. So I want to cut this video off right now. So if you like the video, like the video. If you dislike the video, dislike the video. If you want to see what I got planned next, come see what I got planned next. I got a lot in store for this channel. Really want you guys to be there with me. And with that said, I'll catch you later.